Hi everyone, my name is James Manson and I'm doing the social work, and today I will be discussing social advocacy and activism. Addressing advocacy strategies and policy utilized to enhance opportunities for our oppressed groups and subcultures. While advocacy and activism such an essential part of the field is because in this part we'll look at the practical steps involved in ICT, advocacy planning, and implication. For each of these stages, we set out some key considerations to be addressed. At several points, we pose questions rather than solutions. There is no single temperament for pro and poor ICT accuracy. The questions are intended to assist the process of planning and design. 1. What is the pro-poor ICT access issue to be addressed? What change in policy could lead to improvement? Who is responsible for these policies? It can be helpful at the preliminary stage to define the goals of purpose, advocacy, intentions, to strengthen voice influence, or it will contribute to all these things, or to border development goals. Who will be primary beneficiary of these initiatives? 2. Building relationships in any successful advocacy efforts should also commence at any early stage. Is any similar being considered or planned? Or are there opportunities to build a partnership-based approach from the outside? 5. The credibility of these organization partnerships or coalitions that is advocacy change is likely to be a key factor in success. For example, further research and coalition better alliance, having decided on principles and considerate advocacy and strategy to achieve pro-poor ICT access, and having undertake some primary work to define the advocacy goal. Where are policy design, decision taken, and who has influence over them? For example, and is focused on government policy, and if so, which ministry and departments are responsible? What about legislations and parliaments? Or their interest groups in the policy area? Can support be used mobilely across different political parties? Who else has influence over the key political decision makers? Would a change in policy alone be sufficient to achieve the advocacy goal? What policy options are most likely to attract, support, or generate oppositions? In the development of strategy, the light of the systematic analysis of the policy environment, it is advised to return the advocacy goals and set sophisticated objectives that can achieve within a reasonable definition time frame. For example, raise awareness, communication, or support pilot projects that can contribute to achieving the goals over a long time period. It is useful to distinguish between primary and secondary audience. The secondary audience are those who are best placed to influence decision makers. These may include politicians, public servants, the media, development agency, and so on. It is important to identify both of the political analysts and likely opportunities. What advocacy strategies are most likely to influence the target audience? Will it be effective to work through diagnosis and negotiations and policymakers? Or are there any strategies that might be more likely to achieve results in relations to the goal and objectives? The message are likely to persuade the primary audience. What about the secondary audience? Are a different message in need for a different audience? Effective advocacy requires good organization planning, having defined the goals, objects, and strategy approach. Cost consideration are likely to influence approaches to be taken also. For example, using email, text messages, and Web 202 technology to assist the data gathering, coalition building, and mobilization funds and over-resourced will need to be sufficient to sustain projects for this duration. What are the main risks to success projects? Implications? Might the plan advocacy provoke state representatives or their non-state actors that pose physical danger? Good communication is at the core of effective advocacy. This requires attention to the message and the audience and the means of delivery. The message needs to be reinforced by repetition and through the influence of secondary audience. The media, radio, television, press, online media have a particular role to play in public advocacy initiative, especially campaign-based approaches, including building contracts, knowing of the median audience, writing press, release placing stories, being interviewed, providing visual emphasis, and organizing newsworthy events. Most advocacy initiatives involve some degree of mobilization, public support behind the proposal. Media and the intranet can also be used to recruit and mobilize board-based public support. Advocacy is really a one-way communication process. One advocacy work is more reactive than proactive towards policymakers, or is explicitly diagnosed in case policy and decisions makers may well be advocate proposals and the questions or alternative proposals. Parties may launch strategy to occur to counter an proposal being made. It may also be necessary to modify the proposal to achieve results. Throughout the implication phase, it is important to monitor the process, the results, and the policy context. And to anticipate new change requires close monitoring of the political context and of the broader trends.